What's up, guys? Today we're coming at you with a coffee time discussion on guide to your side deck. So let's jump into this and let's see what we're coming at you with. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure, if you're new to the channel, to hit the subscribe button. That'd be much appreciated. Also, too, be sure to leave a like and a comment. That way we know what feedback you got from us, guys. So let's jump into this. Let's see what we're coming at you with. Okay, guys, when it comes to your side deck is always a subjective thing that can always be interpreted depending on what region, area, locals, regional or YCS event you're going to. Also, depending on what deck you're playing and what, how you're going to, combat the meta, and that can go into many different avenues. But let's jump into this coffee time discussion. We're going to jump into the hyperbolic time chamber and we're going to get this discussion going. Me personally, I don't like hand traps. You have seen a few profiles that I've done with hand traps, but playing, tournament wise, I do not like to play hand traps. Me, I like to play the deck in its purest form as possible, if at all possible. So to me, running cards like Nibiru, things like that, Dimension Shifter, Ashes, I don't care for that. There are people who like to play that, but that's good. That's fine with them. It works for them. That's cool. So to me, what I like to do to combat against a lot of combo boards or control boards or things like that, I still like to run, a Starving Venom Dragon, Fusion Dragon, a Mud Dragon, and 2 Super Polymerizations. Now to me, this is a nice little package. A lot of people like to run the Pleather Plant Dragon Plastania, whatever her name is, and this is a very good card, but I just don't like the fact that you have to run the one fusion monster and a dark monster. That can be a little situational. So to me, I don't like that option. It's a lot easier just to run the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. If you run into 2 darks, like let's say you're playing against Thunder Dragon player, if they have 2 dark monsters, you got it. If they don't have 2 dark monsters, let's say they got 2 Thunders out there, 2 attributes the same type, guess what? You can use your Mud Dragon. So either way, you can clear that board. Same thing with Salamangreats. You can use your Mud Dragon for it. If you're going against Cyber Dragons, there's certain situations you're going to be able to hit that. A lot of decks that are rogue decks, Mud Dragon's going to really pick up, the slack for that. Also, too, if you're going against a Pendulum player and they're trying to play around you, yes, you can hit them with the Dark Ruler no more, but because they've got Jackal King, that's their go-to play. They're going to go for that. So they're either going to wait their plays out till they get to a Jackal King or whatever. But if you flip Super Poly on, let's say they go and put up the Vortex Dragon and also the Appaloosa. Well, they got plenty of outs for you. So if you flip Super Poly on, you just suck both of those monsters up. All those negates are gone, and you got a Mud Dragon on the field that's going to do some work in for you. So that's the reason why I like Super Poly. Super Poly's not going to be able to be solemn, judgmented, ain't going to be warning. They can't respond to it. You're going to get the answer. So to me, to be able to pitch a card, get a monster out of the extra deck, suck 2 cards off their opponent's board, to me, that's very, very useful, and that's something I like to do. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, it's just going to make sure that if they got 2 dark monsters over there, the effect is just going to be able to either copy another one of the attack monsters, you're going to clear off another monster, you can copy the effects of a monster in the graveyard. Also, too, if they do finally out this card, you're going to be able to make sure that you can wipe the board for all special summon monsters. So to me, for them not to be able to respond, you wipe the field. Very useful. I'm also running 2 of the Pankratops. Pankratops is a very useful card. It's good for just making sure that you got a big beater on field. Whenever you special summon this card out, so let's say you're playing against something like, I don't know, Mystic Mind Burn. That's a good example. Playing against Mystic Mind Burn, you special summon this card out. Let's say they do have a monster or whatever, or you get this monster and you summon it out, however you want to go about it. They're going to have the answer right then and there, because you can tribute this off right then and there and pop a card. So that can be very useful to you. Also, too, if they have a crazy monster on board, if you attempt to run it over, they're going to have to answer it right then and there. If they do decide to trigger something, you can still tribute off right then. And that could be very useful to you too. It's going to help you to get around to your, if you're playing against the rogue deck like banished decks, to be able to get rid of those banished cards can be very useful. To be able to run over a monster that could be, banishing the card. Also pop a card on the field, it could be very problematic, it could be very useful if you get to that game state. Also too, control decks are very, very problematic. You're gonna run into them, so making sure you run 2 evenly matches just to be able to make sure that you put them, if they got a big board over there, make sure that they're gonna have to waste resources to make sure that they have to get to the point where they are equal standing ground with you. Also too, you're gonna have the 3 twin twister. That's gonna be very beneficial and very useful to you. Also, it's just something that you want to do to make sure that, you know, it's hard playing through back row, especially if you're playing against, when you're playing odd eyes, if you're playing magicians, anything like that. If you're playing Zephyrs, it's gonna be hard to play through the back row. Yes, you can play through hand traps, but if they start, you know, you pin some and they say warning, guess what? Whatever plays you wanted to go for, that's done. So, and then monsters are usually gone too. So to be able to evenly match them, clear off the field to where they're gonna have to, you know, start scrambling for resources. Even if they do decide to keep the back row, if you evenly them, you know, then you got to play around the back row, pop the back row before you go to your main combo. If you got the twin twister, pop whatever problematic cards you got, go with your plays from there. We're also running the Yang Zing package. You know, we got the Zephyr engine going. You want to make sure you have this in there. Dark Ruler No More is just, you know, it's something you're gonna have to play around now. You can use cards to chain and, you know, get your Archfiend Abyss out there, make sure that you can, you know, pop it in the biscuit, you know, with a Gallic gun. But it's just, you know, you want to be able to, you can search this card out, you know, if you're playing, like I said, your pendulum builds, things like that. You can search this card out with your Electromite. If you want to play a Zephyr build, you got your Oracle Zephyr, you got your Zephyr Providence, things like that to get the card right to hand. You pendulum summon this card right out, get this card searched out. If you got your Zephyr Providence, you can just search this card straight to the hand if that's what you wish to do, and just make sure you get this into the extra deck however you want to do it. But those are options that you have. To me, being able to have good access to a counter trap that can make sure that you can stop your opponent from, you know, hitting you with that Dark Ruler No More is very essential, especially when you're playing a combo deck, because that can make sure that you can, you know, out whatever they're trying to play. They're going to stop all the negates that you can put up. You can put more negates than they can stop. So if you can, you know, stop them from stopping your negates, you're in a very good position. Speaking of that, I'm also teching in my side deck, and this is just something that I'm trying because, you know, the OCG, they're, you know, going real mad crazy with the Solemns. You got plenty of Trickstar players. You're going to start seeing a big play of Toad players because they're going to get some more support pretty soon with the Marine Cesses. And there's a lot of cards that can negate cards and, you know, destroy. So I'm starting to tech in, you know, 2 Witch's Strike. This is just a card that I'm trying out. It's not something that you have to play. It's just a tech that I'm using, but this is something that can be very useful if you're playing against a even a magician player. When they got all their negates, if they decide to use Odd Eyes to negate this, Odd Eyes Vortex to negate this, their whole field gets wiped off. They're not going to be able to stop it. If you have this face down and you do decide to pendulum summon, they flip Solemn Warning. You might lose those 2 cards, but to flip this and they lose their whole hand and whole board is very beneficial. No matter what they do after that, even if it stops your combo, you're still going to have more game state than they will. So, you know, a lot of people say this is a bad card. You know, it depends on, you know, like I said, your meta, your situations, how you play. But if you're going against a control deck, they're going to have warnings. They're going to have things that's going to negate your cards. Now, I'm not talking about like Ash Blossoms. I mean, it's going to have to be like warnings. I believe Zephyrs, things like that. Zephyr Strike, things like that. It's going to have to be able to something to stop it. Once that's done, it's resolved, you flip this right behind it. And then it wipes their board, their hand, and it's going to put you in a good game state. But that's it for this side deck option, guys. You know, guys, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. We thank you guys for, you know, asking us for this. You know, I hardly ever do, you know, side deck options because, like I said, it's all subjective. It's what you want to do based on your meta, your take on how things are going. Like I said, this is what I'm playing at this moment in time. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, too, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Also, too, don't forget to check the links in the description box below. And guys, thanks to you guys for all your love and support. Thanks, guys. We're out.